Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is Alicia. I haven't recorded anything for such a long time that it feels a little bit strange to be sitting here and talking to the camera, but I'm working on something that I think is quite exciting and I wanted to take you guys on the journey with me. So let's roll the intro and then we'll dive in. I've mentioned on this channel that I work for a library and we're actually having our staff conference tomorrow, and there is a competition going on called the Beetle Craft Competition. So here's the blurb that they circulated in the email to everybody. Beetle Craft! Join a creative craft competition exclusively for colleagues of the library. Based on the theme of transformations and beetles, craft a creation in plasticine, cake, paper mache, or whatever you choose. Bring your creation to the staff conference, 23rd May, for a display as well as the chance to win a prize. And there's some other stuff going on about Kafka. So I knew about this competition, but it didn't cross my mind to join the competition until yesterday. So I've been trying to come up with an idea as well as crochet the item. And let me show you guys what I have so far. I googled crochet patterns for beetles and there were not a lot of options available, especially not free options. So I was really lucky to find this free pattern on Ravelry of a stag beetle. I think it's by Floaty Loti 236. The creator's name is Charlotte. And what I've done so far is I crocheted the head and body. These are two pieces that are going to be sewn together and stuffed. And then I've also been working on the wings. So there are two inner wings and I still have to make one more of this outer wing. I decided not to go with dark brown yarn because I want my beetle to have a little bit more color. So I have this beautiful emerald green toucan yarn and I thought it would make a great beetle color. So I'm going to make one more of these outer wings. And my idea is not to make the beetle as it is. I'm going to try and make a human that's going to be dressed in a beetle outfit. If you've read Kafka's Metamorphosis, it's about this guy who wakes up one day and discovers that he's been turned into some sort of insect. So with the theme of transformation and beetles, I was thinking that it would be great if my creation could communicate this idea that even though this person looked like a beetle on the outside, but inside his human essence is still there. I don't know if that makes sense, but that was my idea. And I'm not entirely sure how I'm gonna put this together, but I think that's the exciting part and I just thought it would make a fun video. It is now a few hours later and I have made some progress. Let me show you. For the beetle part, I have sewn most of the pieces together. So that includes this black piece, which is the head and the body, and the inner wings, which are the white pieces, the outer wings, which are the dark green pieces, and then this black piece here is the breastplate, and this dark brown part is called the head plate, and there are the mandibles as well. So I've sewn all those pieces together, and if I were following the pattern, I would have this second piece of the head and body and I would kind of sew it onto the bottom of that and stuff it, and that would be sort of my beetle. And I also have the legs somewhere. I only made 2 legs because it was such a painful process making these. Firstly, it's made using chenille black color yarn, so it's very hard to crochet with. I couldn't see what I was doing. And because I was doing such narrow rounds of between 4 to 6 stitches, it was just a pain. So I didn't want to crochet more than 2. And I'm not even sure if I'm going to be using these legs in the final piece. So I'm just gonna set them aside and see what I can do with them. My idea was to have a human component to the final piece, so I found this baby bean doll by Softies. It's a free pattern and I'll put the link in my description box below, so go and check that out if you want to make one of these or if you're looking for just a basic body pattern. I modified it slightly to make it smaller, but I really like how she made the pattern no-sew. I couldn't really figure out how to do the I-cord thing that she used for the arms, so I just did your regular magic ring and single crocheted in rounds until it was an appropriate length for my little doll. So this took me a couple hours to make as well. And then the last piece that I made was this dress. I followed the design of the dress from a watermelon doll by Stuffed Amigurumi, which I'll also put in the link below. But I just kind of changed the colors and made little modifications here and there so that it would fit my little doll. And let me show you how it looks. Ignore all the loose ends, but doesn't that look pretty fancy? I really like how the colors came together, and these ruffles just make it look so fancy as well. The next step is that I'll probably have to crochet some kind of headpiece, but I'm hoping that I can somehow put this at the back of the doll and maybe add something that looks like hair for it as well. What do you guys think? I think after I pop the headpiece on, it might come together better. So I'll get back to you guys in a couple more hours. A few hours later. After many hours, I am finally done with my beetle craft piece, and I should really go to sleep, but I just had to record this video and show you what I've made before I go and rest. So here's my little doll. I have sewn the dress on and woven in all the ends, and she is, dare I say, perfect? No, she's not perfect, but I think she's very beautiful. And if you notice, she's kind of ball up here, and that's because of the transformation element that I want to incorporate into my piece. So here is her first look with her brown wig. Just look at those pretty locks that took a really long time to make. So that's look number 1, and for look number 2, it's going to have the beetle element incorporated. For this part, I crocheted a similar hair piece, but I didn't crochet the locks on. So if I take this off, you can see that the fringe is similar, but she's got the mandibles up here, and then if you turn her to the back, you can see the wings, and these are only attached at the top of the wing, so they can kind of, yeah. If I had craft wire and I could kind of shape these wings, I think they would look more fantastic, but they're movable at the moment. So that's what I came up with, and I'm thinking of putting a sign saying that you can change her hairpiece, and the bonus is that I don't have to sew the headpiece onto the doll. Less sewing is always a bonus, am I right? So tomorrow when I go to the staff conference, I'm gonna put her on display, and it's sort of an interactive piece. So I hope she gets some attention. I don't really mind if I don't win anything, but it would be great to get some recognition for the many hours that I have put into crocheting her. And I'm so tired, so I'm gonna go take a rest right now. It is now Friday. It's the day after the staff conference, and I'm so glad that I got to spend a whole day with my fellow librarians or library assistants, just learning about a lot of different things in the field and how we can better engage our readers and researchers, and how libraries can provide better services, especially with so many new and emerging technologies coming up. It's very important for people working in the knowledge field to know and stay up to date with all of these changes in the world. So I'm really glad that I was able to attend the staff conference. And at the end of the day, we had a session to close up the day and to kind of recap everything that had been happening. And that's when the prizes were given out. So I actually won 2 different competitions. One was like a scavenger hunt, and then they did a lucky draw from everyone who had gotten the scavenger hunt correct. So I was lucky enough to win some prizes for that. I'll pop a picture up of the things that I won. And then for the beetle craft competition, I actually won 3rd place. I'm just so happy and proud that my little beetle girl won 3rd place in that competition. So I went ahead and took some nicer videos of her. I'm going to put them on the screen right now. So let me just show her to you again. this wig is actually quite fiddly, so I'm thinking of sewing it onto her permanently. And I just think she looks super sweet with the brown hair and with all the curls. And I know I've mentioned this before, but I really love the dress and the frills. So definitely go and check out that pattern of the watermelon girl because that dress is even more exquisite looking. This beetle costume is actually pretty heavy, but if you put Beetle Girl on a surface, she'll stand up really nicely with the beetle costume supporting her from behind. And I think I'll just comment on a few things that I would like to improve about this design. So first of all, these mandibles flop around a lot. So I would use craft wire to make sure that they stay in place, or maybe the wire can be used to shape the mandible so that you can do some creative stuff with that. And if you noticed, this beetle has only 2 legs, and that's because I was really just too lazy to crochet the other 4 legs. It was quite a pain, and I would have been just so frustrated crocheting those other 4 legs, and I didn't need that at that point in time, but I might eventually get around to crocheting the other 4 legs. Another thing that I might do if I had the time and resources is to use craft wire for the wings. I think it would be interesting to position the wings such that it looks like the beetle is flying. So definitely go and check out this pattern because I think it is a brilliant one, and you can make a really interesting beetle with it, depending on what colors you choose to use. Yeah, I really have nothing to say about the beetle pattern in and of itself. And another thing is that my Beetle Girl's dress was a little too loose, and I would rather it be too loose rather than too tight. But yeah, if I could make her all over again, I think I would just make that initial chain a little bit shorter so that the dress would fit her better. Oh, and let me just pop up what I won from winning the Beetle Craft competition. This was the 3rd place prize. So this was the first time ever that I participated in a competition with something that I crocheted, and I'm just so happy, so thankful that Beetle Girl got 3rd place in the competition. Thank you so much for watching this video and for following along with my new experience. I would really appreciate it if you could like or comment or subscribe if you haven't yet, and I hope to see you in the next video.